This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Okay.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Is this plank
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
很帅啊！等一下，帅哥啊！OK，哇！记得我玩这个开箱玩了3次，这是第3次。Sunrise, U.S. Army.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes.
The Uber Eats. Okay.
To drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frost. From the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
他看起来一点都不 care.
This is one for the history.
He don't give a fuck about that shit, man.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Wow, 反起啊，反起，老二，老二。
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox
Virtuous
unit.
mission.
If it succeeds, will be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
Don't get cocky, this isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head
Nicholas
of
KG. Nicholas KG.
the Soviets' top secret weapon research facilities,
Copy.
and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov?
Hey,
Isn't
well.
he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same.
Sokolov.
On April the 12th, 1961,
It's very
the Soviets
same.
achieved the first manned spaceflight.
It's very same.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba.
废话很多呢。
The Soviets dismantled and removed the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba. And so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete.
是我好饱啊！
We were
为
going to
什
get
么
rid
我
of
能
them
把人
anyway.
叫外送？
They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
Oh,
About Sokolov?
about Sokolov.
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
刚有一段根本就没得看，不知道他是公安小，所以现在到底在干了？吃鸡了 PUGB 啊 PGUB 啊，绝地战警、绝地战塔啊、绝地战者啊，对吧 ？PUB 这个，感觉好OK。有。
Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the West. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat Talon?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
干他是要去死是不是？他妈的嘞！
Against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong, you'll be eating dinner, breakfast, and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle。哦，然后这个游戏的画质怎么样变差的？刚刚跟整个不一样。哦哟 ，Superhero Line。感觉太中二了吧！我操，太喜欢了啦！Snake，Let's go！ 我是蛇，蛇形刁手，靠北。贼带训，帮你去死。
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
Well, you've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training.
I'm glad to...
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a...
Let's see. I'll be Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your... In other words, weapons and equipment to procure on site. That goes for food.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I suppose calling me Snake was your...
No. There's a good reason for that.
Gotcha. Getting back to the sub...
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. You'll also find some medical supplies.
Yeah, about the backpack.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
I shut the fuck up. 我需要跟他回报什么东西？我在 spend 什么东西？俾個佢哋回報。记得啦，靠腰啊！哦。感觉有点落塞。
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a list on the screen. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will
Wow.
So don't get too. The suppressor's durability is any weapons and equipment beyond.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Who's
Solo covert actions, you can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapon. Your presence in enemy territory is already You can't let anyone see you. You're a ghost, Snake, and there'll be no rescue of your camp.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself.
I'm afraid so. You've been given a SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on.
How generous.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you in.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain.
I'll keep it in mind.
Right.
I guess that means I.
Correct. The mission.
A real what?
Relax. There's a.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, Survival is of. She's a member of Fox as well, and.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
哦，妹子，
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to
is
make
that my
that
door?
My frequency is 145.73.
she's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It all.
Good to know.
There's one more person.
Huh?
Speaking of Snake, a legendary soldier and your. Actually, it was the boss that. She's going to be serving as Fox's.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top-secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. Listen to me, Jack. Having personal feelings about your comrade. Yesterday's good might be too.
Is that why you were...
No. A soldier has to follow whatever. You are a natural born. A soldier is a political. He has no enemies and no friends.
I do whatever I have to
That's not the same thing. In the end, you have to. There's a saying in the Orient.
being patriotic.
It means devote.
I follow the president and the top brass.
The president and the top brass won't be.
I follow the will of the leader.
People aren't the.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change, so there's no such thing. As long as we have.
And that's the way it...
The only is the mission.
All right.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put. As long as you've got a.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good to hear your voice.
Same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out of. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key.
CQC. I've been in the Green Berets for the past few...
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you.
Where are you, boss?
The boss is communicating with us by radio.
My frequency is 141.8.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to Dr. Sokolov is avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you.
Don't let everyone see you.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Backpack. Backpack.裸体。哦，哎，什么东西呀？OK。哦。哦。哦。哦。OK OK。妈的嘞！传声后能发挥不会受到。啊！哦，是拿刀的去。 而且挪就怕用起的挪了。
Camouflage is an indispensable tool when you're sneak. To use camouflage, then select uniform to choose battlefield. The most effective camouflage patterns that stand.
Snake, do you see any tufts of grass?
Yeah,
What kind of?
just ordinary.
You should check.
It's pretty thick.
If you crawl into the grass, when you do, the camera automatically switches to intrusion view. If you want to stand up again, press and hold the crouch button once more. If you press the crouch button briefly, you'll crouch in that... Got it?
Yeah,
But what?
was that the only...
What do you mean?
You had me check it just so you could...
That's right. Pretty useful.
Right.
Shall we cap?
By all means.
Even when hidden in grass, when enemy...
Okay.
Saving the game, Snake? Hey, Snake, you ever heard of Godzilla, King of Monsters?
No, what is it?
It's a movie. You haven't seen it? It's
Godzilla.
about this monster called Godzilla, who grows to an enormous size in a nuclear test and goes on a rampage in Tokyo.
Nuclear
Tokyo.
test, huh? Then the Marshall Islands.
It's just...
Maybe that's why my pants...
Snake, it's a movie, not a report.
I know, so...
Godzilla is immune to all weapons, and humanity has no way to stop the monster. Dr. Shirazawa develops a new type of weapon. But meanwhile, Godzilla is getting... It was originally a Japanese movie, but they made an American version too. It's mostly mindless fun, but it's also got a serious...
Where can I see the original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Original.
That's too bad.
If you wait 40 years, you might...
Why's that?
2024 will be...
You think there's still...
Of course.
You sure know?
I don't suppose you're the...
Not really.
Okay, then when the going gets tough, that's the magic.
No kidding. Well...
That's the spirit. Do you want to say... Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
到此为止。